What's up, guys? Your agent Tyler Wehrung here, and today we're going to talk about what is the best time of year to list your house for sale. We get asked the question a lot of, is now a good time? What's the market like? Should I list my home now or wait? So I want to talk to you about kind of when the best time of year is per some national sources. Talk about what the reasons might be behind that. We'll give you a little bit of insight into some data and metrics, and then lastly, I'll give you my final thoughts on the best time of year to list. With that, let's jump in. Alright guys, before we get started, I just want to say that we'll have to put a pause on all likes and subscribes for the moment. This channel is growing so fast that YouTube really just can't handle any more likes on my videos. Yeah, no, I'm totally kidding. I would be forever grateful for any likes. If you've gotten any value out of any video I've done so far, just a like or a share just kind of tells YouTube's algorithm that other people like you may also get value from it as well. So I'd be eternally grateful if you could do that. So now, let's get started. All right, best time to sell your house throughout the entire year per Zillow, per USA Today, NerdWallet, several other sources that we can find out there all say that May is the best time of year to sell your house. Some debate over the beginning of May or the latter half of May, so we're just going to go with May. I think we can all agree on the month of May is the best time to do that, but let's talk about some of the reasons why that might be. First off, May is when the weather is just starting to get warmer, and I don't know about you, but if I'm going to move, like I hate moving in general, and if I have to move in the cold weather, that's just like another kick in the shins. So I think when the weather starts warming up, people start becoming open to getting outside the house to go look at houses, open houses or walk houses with the realtor. They're also more open to the idea of carrying boxes when they know they're not going to freeze to death. So one reason is just the weather warming up. Kind of people's emotional state is typically better in these warmer months as well. So number one reason being the weather. The second is that a lot of people have kids in school, and they're also starting to think about moving when school is out or almost out. A lot of people are typically willing to drive their kids to school if they move in the very last couple of months or in the very beginning. So this time of year just kind of becomes conducive to that. So a lot of people plan their move around their kids' school. Another reason that homes sell for slightly more in the May month is also because this is about 30 days after the tax refund date. So right after April 15th, a month later, people typically have a nice tax refund in their pocket, and if they're first-time home buyers, they're really likely, most refunds can kind of meet that 3.5% down payment that first-time home buyers get, so they're more apt to go out and find a house and have down payment funds available. And lastly, one of the big reasons cited is that most people take summer vacations typically in the mid to late summer, and they'd like to get their move and housing situation squared away before they plan out this vacation in the later summer months. So those are kind of the big items that we found when kind of crawling through the internet and looking through some sources. But now for all you data nerds out there like myself, let's look at some of the data and see if it supports this. So first I'm going to look at two charts. These are off of Zillow's websites, and you can do some more digging here. But this is late spring is the best time to list a house, and the average boost to the final sale price. So you can see here in May we are getting slightly more numbers at $1,600 more than some of the other summer months. And then you can see down in December and the other colder months, they're in downwards of $2,500 to less than $1,500. So that was in the broad United States. We did look at our market in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it really holds true, but it is leaning towards that latter half of May rather than the beginning for the whole United States. All right, so now we'll pull up some data from the Cincinnati MLS to look at some data and see if it holds true, and not to kill the story, but it definitely does. But let's take a look here. All right, so looking back to 2017 all the way through the beginning half of 2021, this is single family and condo units sold. So units sold, you can see starting to climb, and then this orange box here is the month of May. So you can see starting to climb here for most months, a little bit of an outlier in 2020, but we did have the COVID pandemic. So I think this went flat here while people just tried to figure out what the heck was going on, and then we spiked a little bit later in the year. We'll also look at average sale price. So not a huge indication here, but did see a slight rise in sales prices for most of the years in the past during this time. Got median sale price, very similar but slightly higher climb in this month. Residential active inventory. So for those of you not familiar, inventory is the amount of houses on the market, and they measure this in months or units to deplete the inventory if there was nothing else added. So a decline in inventory typically leads to a seller's market. So you'll see in most cases, actually the last 3 years, it did slightly climb up. That's more people listing their house. And then in 2020, like we said, a little bit different market there, but it did fall slightly. Single family and condos new listings. So new listings hitting the market. You see this spike in May, and for most months it was the highest of the year aside from 2020 here. New pendings. So you'll see from list date to pending, I mean, it's typically, once you have an accepted contract, 30 to 45 days. So I think you'll see here that this is in May, and then in 2020 a little bit later. That still holds true. And then average days on market is kind of falling for most of the months and hits its low peaks starting in May and June, July there. So those are just from data. I know I like to always look at the data. I'm a visual person, so I like to see graphs and trends. But my final thoughts on the best time of year to list your home is whenever you're ready. I think you can see here from the charts that the time of month is really not going to move the needle drastically in any one way or the other. Now, it's going to be most important to look at the market as a whole. You know, if it's a seller's market, it's on fire like it is right now, you know, listing in May versus September is probably not going to be a significant difference aside from any other market impacts that come into play. Same thing if it's a buyer's market. Things are not going to be drastically different in May than they were in January. These data points do show some slight differences, but not enough, in my opinion, that you should change the course of your home buying process around the time of the year. You should wait until you're ready when this fits your family's needs. If you guys need to get into a new house because you're in an unfortunate situation, just do it. If you have the opportunity to wait and it meets your family's needs, do that as well. But I wouldn't let the time of month down to the exact weeks and the best time of year to sell drive your whole home selling or home buying process. This should be a much more thought through, in-depth thing, and once you're ready, you should make the move. If you are ready or you know someone who might be, I would love the opportunity to chat with them and see if I might be a good fit to help them out in this process. I would be forever grateful for any referrals or any business you send my way. But with that, guys, I hope you got some value out of this. And if you did, a like or share would be eternally grateful for. But with that, I'm Tyler Wehrung, and we'll catch you next time.